I landed a job in equity research, and I have been there for about more than 6 years now. I have to say it was stressful. It was not an easy time. For first year student, I think it's harder to land an internship in the UK, especially when your CV is a bit blank and you haven't got the experience. So you know the first job is always the hardest job. My last year, probably I do 100 application, 15 interview and 5 assessment center and convert to one offer. I think the tips for applying for job at uni is probably 3 things I learned. Firstly is about don't give up. The second part is probably have perseverance. And have a growth mindset. And I think the most important thing is probably have a supporting network of friends and families. I haven't tried it for so long, so long, yeah.
Welcome back to Landon, a video podcast series about finding your way and building a life abroad. I'm Ellen, your host. I'll be interviewing people just like you and me who took a chance on themselves, made their move, and have landed here in the UK with a sponsored job. They share exactly what it's like to pursue this path and what it took them to get to where they are today. Joining me today is Tracy, a buy-side equity analyst with over 6 years of experience. She landed the role right after graduating from LSE in 2018. Born and raised in Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam, she moved to the UK after her education, and after a long journey, she just recently got her British citizenship. Welcome to the show, Tracy. How are you today?
Hello, Alan. Doing very well. Thank you. Thanks for having me in the show.
Yeah, you must be so excited after, and you had your ceremony yesterday, right?
Oh yes, it was quite emotional. I just don't know why, but I was in full tears at the moment when I swear the oath. I think back about the journey that I have been through in the last 11 years. I think my story was just a bit quite ordinary, nothing exceptional, but I think it's a lot of effort that was put in to get where I am today. So I'm happy to share that with everyone in the podcast.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we came quite similar town.
Yeah.
And we didn't have the graduate visa available back then. So I think that was definitely a lot of effort and probably understatement how much effort and how much stress it was during this journey, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So can you walk us through your timeline from when you first moved to the UK till now?
Oh yeah, so I moved to the UK in August 2013 for 2 years A level. Then after that, I went to the LSE for 3 years for bachelor degree, and after that, I landed a job in equity research, and I have been there for about more than 6 years now. Happy to share the journey where I get there.
At the time that we came, finance was kind of very popular option, actually one of the most popular option that also very desirable. A lot of people want to go into it. And nowadays I see more and more people go into like marketing or tech and consulting and that area. So I'm glad to have you on here to talk more about the finance side actually.
Yeah.
And can you share a bit more about your role and what do you do and the industry you're in and what attracted you to it?
Okay, so I'm currently a buy-side equity research. My specialized sector is resources equity. So I cover a bunch of commodity equities. Try to look for the oversold or maybe something that very depressed in terms of valuation, and see if there's an angle to the end of the market cycle that maybe the commodity can turn at some stage. So my job involved with probably searching for ideas. For example, I attend conferences at some certain time of the year in which I catch up with the C-suite management or IR of certain companies just to discuss how they allocate capital, what step of the market cycle we are in, try to search for new ideas. If I like some good ideas, I'm going to try go back to my company, try to pitch that to the portfolio manager. We buy the stock. If the idea is good, have good upside, and I build a model, I cover the companies as well as like update the fund manager on different news flow. If anything change with my investment thesis, then incorporate those data into the valuation model as well as like the qualitative assessment of the companies within the research platform, for example. And try to communicate view in terms of the macro of different commodities things like that.
Yeah. It sounds very technical to me for someone who's not in finance. So I'm sure as a student, it must be such a different world for you. So
Yeah.
what draw you to this, to apply for this
Yeah.
job? Yeah.
So I think I was lucky enough in my first year. I went to a Wipro event, and that at that time I met a, a lady who speak about how she get a job in investment banking, and her advice was that try to figure out what you like, or at least what you dislike doing at a very early stage, so you can focus on the application process. So after that meeting, I actually go back, try a lot of like different society. I tried case study in consulting. I talk to people in finance. I do investment report with the investment society, and I even try coding myself as well. In terms of like organizing event as well for African Investment Society. And then after that, after many trial and error, I realized a few things about myself. First, I hate selling. I'm not good at selling, so I will never go to any job that sell, for example, or like the aggressive culture of a bit of the investment banking side probably doesn't attract me to that very much. Or like I think I don't like the disorganized structure of a startup, for example. So eliminate a lot of things. I figured out that maybe equity research in buy side could be a place for me. So yeah, I just try it out and speak to people, and then later on I figure out and then apply in my second year at uni for an internship. And after the internship I confirm my interest in the industry, just because of the fact that I think it rewards people with technical knowledge and experience. And I'm very a bit nerdy, a bit technical myself, so I'm happy with the job I'm having now. Basically.
What did you study at uni?
So I did mathematics and economics. So,
oh wow.
So it's a bit more technical degree. Yeah.
Have you always been very technical minded?
I think so. To some extent, well, so back in high school in Vietnam, I specialized in computer science, but I realized that I didn't like focusing on the coding a lot. So I decided to move to try economics. So a lot of trial error as well. And I think I was pragmatic at the time when I applied for uni. I think that maybe math and econ would give me a broad exposure to different subjects, and then it could open me the door for exit opportunities later when I graduate. So I was just pragmatic at that time.
Can you share a bit more about the challenges that time as a student to get a sponsored job? And obviously we didn't have the graduate visa, so how was it back then for you?
I have to say it was stressful. It was not an easy time, but I think what helped me through it is probably a support system of friends. So at that time, balancing between studying, applying, have some friends to make you happy, for example. Then I think surround yourself with good friends helped me, because I have friends going to library with me every day. So they motivate me to study, and some friends as well. They help me with mock interview, and we help each other out in terms of practicing for tests, for example, things like that. And I think figured out that different charity organizations as well at that time. So that could help the student. For example, I was a part of SO Vietnam, so I learned the internship in Vietnam in my first year at uni. Then second year I applied to SO London. So they helped me fast track my application to the different banks in front office. So at least like I think I don't get rejected randomly just because I'm not, for example, good enough, for example, or like maybe it's just the quant system that reject you, right? So I was, I think, lucky enough to be backed by the organization. And I think how do I know about the organization? I think firstly, I think at that time I was do a bit of researching around LinkedIn, and I see people with my similar background, what they did. I just gather the data, what they did to get the job. So I think similar background usually have first year internship, or like at the end of the year, or better you can have spring week So I also started doing spring week as well, but I landed like just operation, but I walked through the way. And then later on as well, I saw people in second year, okay, most of them are a part of ESO London, which is very diverse organization that help the people with disadvantaged backgrounds to land a job in London.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah. Is it like a network?
Yeah, so ESO, I think they started from in the US, technically speaking, to help the US student with disadvantaged background, from more diverse background to land a top job in a financial organization, just because I think they want to bridge the gap of inequality. So yeah, so I just applied, people coached me up. Yeah, and at that time I met people, not just Vietnamese students, but like from different background, from different countries who also want to get a job, and I learned a lot from them as well. So
yeah.
So yeah.
So your internships, did you have the internship after first year?
I get the internship in Vietnam.
Okay.
After first year for a tech firm. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have a strategy behind it? What was the thought or decision-making process behind getting an internship in Vietnam, or it just happened that you have an opportunity there? So yeah.
Yeah. So I think for first year student, I think it's harder to land an internship in the UK, especially when your CV is a bit blank and you haven't got the experience. So you know the first job is always the hardest job. Having said that, I think I could have a better opportunity in Vietnam, landing a real work experience that could help me to solidify my soft skill, my technical skill, for example. So I just go through ESO Vietnam, and then of course I think I failed a lot of financial work experience at that time, because I think I was not experienced enough. So technically speaking, that tech firm was the opportunity for me that I think, why not try it out, try to literally confirm that like if I'm for the tech sector or not. And then I just take it, because at that time when you're a bit, I think, desperate, you haven't got experience, anything is good, I think.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think after my first year, I had internship at a charity in the UK, unpaid. So anything is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so for second year, you got the internship. How was the process like at that time? And did you have to go through many applications to that job, or did you target that industry and that job? How was that process for you?
Yeah. So in second year, yes, I applied for probably around 30 companies and get the job around December. So I was, I think, a bit lucky. Yeah. Because thanks to a fast track. Having said that, I think I have a few brand name in my CV. For example, I don't have direct experience in trading, but I do 6-week trading competition with an investment bank.
Yeah.
And
was it from first year applying?
First year summer.
Okay.
So it's just like it's like a trading competition. Anybody can join. So you just be there like and elaborate and show my interest in finance. That's how I can switch from being in tech into finance, because I think the earlier you apply, the more advantage you are in terms of like the financial job. That's it. I think that's the key. But you have to start early, because people who know it early get spring week, maybe get a few training competition, and then it's help you set you well for the finance job later on.
Yeah, I think now even have programs at A level as well. I'm pretty sure Goldman Sachs or something have A level.
So yeah, I think it's even more competitive to have that on your CV. But usually, I think the further you prepare for it, the easier the chance for you to get some kind of like open day, some sort of like inside days, and it's help to build your CV up to land some certain internship or like the grad job.
Did you find it easy to get interviews and get responses when you send the CV back then?
Probably, I think the chance of getting interview is like, I think in my second year, I got 30 application around, probably that. I have about 5 invitation to interview. My last year, probably I do 100 application and probably 15 interview and convert to 5 assessment center and convert to 1 offer.
Oh, wow.
So yeah.
Oh, so your summer internship, did it convert into a full-time offer?
No, I didn't convert.
What happened back then? Yeah.
So I didn't convert many things, to be fair with you. In my spring week with a banking operation, I didn't convert, but I think it's happened for a reason. I think. Then my second year, I didn't convert as well. At that time, I think what happened is that as many Asian students who live long enough in Asia, I tend to let the work speak for myself. So I focus so much on working, less on the networking side or like get to know other colleagues. So that's the first thing. And I think at that time my English was not so good. So I have a bit of problem communicating my ideas when I speak English, for example. So that's marked down as well, and it was very competitive. Internship is probably the conversion rate of 25% because it's crazy, yeah. So, but I learned a lot, and I think it's helped me build a CV to help me land a graduate job later on. So I'm very grateful for any of those opportunities. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. And to any students watching this and listening to this right now, I just want to explain that if you apply for Insights Week or Spring Weeks, you have a chance to securing a summer internship at the end of that if you impress people or doing well. And the same with summer internship, you have a chance of converting that into a full-time offer, is what I did. And I think it's quite an less pressure way of later to applying for like a full-time again. And for you continue to apply when the final year came.
Yeah.
And how was that experience, and did you find that having internships in previous years helped a lot?
So in my last year at uni, yes, I didn't get through the fast track program, so I applied everything myself. And yeah, the conversion rate was a bit lower to interview. But yeah, because I think I have the relevant experience, I focus on some certain areas. So I managed to land a few interview. And yeah, it's slowly get to assessment center. So yeah, I think building a background, good CV definitely help. That building your experience, talking about your interests, your passion about why you want to work in the industry is very important for the people.
Yeah. So how has it been for you working in this job and in this industry, and especially when it comes to being sponsored as well? How was that process like? Say even bringing up that conversation with your employer about extending the visa or converting that into a PR. Yeah, so how was that like?
Yeah, so I think first I think I just targeted the job that say that probably potentially sponsor visa, not necessarily saying something like the candidate need to have the right to work in the UK with that time limit, for example, thing like that. Then I try to avoid those, and I try to be honest with the HR when they first call me about different what is your compensation. I like maybe try to on phone interview, for example, I'm gonna be I was open with the HR about my situation. I need the sponsorship, and if they say sorry, we cannot do anything, something like that, then I'm gonna be sad for a bit, but not dwell on it and try to move on with other opportunity. I think it's broad enough for you to probably like the finance industry in the UK is probably thriving enough for you to probably land a job. So I just so with the sponsors visa job, I just be open direct with the HR straight away from the beginning. Say that I need visa sponsor. So yeah, without visa sponsorship, I won't be able to work. So I'm not hiding anything from the HR. But anyway, during the time that I'm at the company, I show them that okay, I'm a very good value added person. You have to keep me. So every single year, I need to check up with the HR, for example, in terms of if I leave a country, I need to put down the how many days, for example. But yeah, I think they're willing to sponsor me up until the ILR as well, and then they pay for me to get the ILR.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, and CFA is a journey of its own, right?
Yeah.
So when you apply, so equity research is competitive, right? And there's not that many jobs, especially for international students as well.
Yeah.
So when you apply in your final year, did you target this particular job at different firms, or at that point for you, you wanted a sponsored job in finance, and was you targeted?
I think at the time I apply, I either target the job that I want in some certain firm,
Mm,
or I apply for related job
mm,
in different firm. So okay, so my past I'm a bit lucky.
mm,
So I get the job I want straight away. But I know people who are my friend or friend of friend, for example, they started, I don't know, take example of a friend that he started as a business analyst in a bank,
mm,
but then he really want investment banking job.
mm,
So what he does, I think he take CFA up to level 2 something,
mm,
so that he has technical skill. Then he network around, asking people around, and later on, I think after 2-3 years, he just land the front office job.
mm.
So he you can move, yeah. So I think you need to hustle a bit, moving around, but at the end of the day, you still can land where you want to be if you have a direction of knowing what you want. Yeah.
So I think it's a good shout, because I think a lot of people, they just think that you have to be here
No.
to get into here. But
Yeah.
for international students like us, sponsorship will be a priority. So
Yeah.
it's still possible to get sponsored job and then
Yeah,
move
and then
later.
move around, yeah.
Yeah, and you can still do what you want.
Yeah.
Okay, before we continue our conversation, now there's a segment, a fun segment to try food from our home country, which is Vietnam. And I got some food from a local shop with a very tasty dish that I want to share with you and for you to try. So yeah.
Thank you.
So we are now holding 2 bowls of Vietnamese specialty, Vietnamese authentic food that is called giò thủ nạc.
I think you can call it
What is English word for this?
pork roll.
Mm.
But I think with the head parts. I don't know.
It's a bit different because it is usually it's this kind of, it's like similar to ham here, right? But this
Yeah, so
type is not.
you can call it pork roll, but it's made from the bypass of
Yeah,
of
and
pork.
it's very crunchy, and it can be eaten cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I like. Okay, let's try.
Yeah, it's a traditional food during a Tết holiday in Vietnam. Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't tried it for so long. So long, yeah. Because I think I miss many Tết holiday in Vietnam for so many years. I just cannot remember the last time I've been home for Tết. Yeah.
I have not been back for any Tết since I left.
Okay. Is it because of work or is it because of?
Because it's just not the. I don't know why, to be honest. I just never been back during Tết holidays. It's always been maybe September time that I.
Similar to me.
Yeah. Why is that?
Well,
Work, right? Here it's work. It's just not common to be
first
off.
it's work and study as well, but at the same time, I think usually during that holiday, my parents tend to be a bit busier. Now they're retired, so I think I tend to come back when they're less busy with like welcoming guests, for example. Then
Yeah.
I think they can be me 100%.
Yeah, it's busy for Vietnamese families during Tết holidays. I think one thing that people, when I first came here, and I felt like I didn't really enjoy New Year here as much, because to me at that time, New Year is Lunar New Year. But then I wasn't home. But now obviously been here long enough and have family here, it's different. But back then I think we just didn't, it just felt a lot lonelier here during those holidays on our own. But we kind of don't give ourselves enough empathy for that, I think, at times. Yeah. And then people here, they don't understand when you want to take holiday during January and February.
Usually that's reporting season for me, so quarter end season, I'm like.
Yeah, no, exactly. And then at that time, people also back from New Year, Christmas break. So now this is full speed in just a New Year's. It's weird to like take 2 weeks off to go home. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit harder when you have jobs and you want to take holiday during the time that people are working hard.
Yeah.
And then you have a different event back at home. But anyway, yeah.
And I think people also probably don't understand the significance of state holidays as well
Yeah.
to Vietnamese people.
I have to explain to a lot of people that literally that holiday in Vietnam is like the Christmas period.
Mm.
So yeah, you don't do anything. You have a lot of family gatherings, whatever. So I think now the people here start to grow accustomed to the fact that that holidays or like during New Year is an important event. But before that, I don't think they really understand that like it's like a Christmas in some certain country in Asia, basically.
Yeah. Do you eat this in the south?
Yes, I do. Yes, we do. Yeah, my mom always order a bunch of like pork roll from different suppliers because they make very good, very authentic one, and then she distributes to the family members as well, give to guests, stuff like that. So yeah, we eat a lot of this every during New Year.
Yeah. It's just so easy to eat and it's so tasty.
Yeah, for sure. Very crunchy. And it's not too dry, I think. Like some certain chicken breast, whatever. I just can't
That's the only thing here.
too lean, too healthy.
With this one, there is the type that is more fatty, but I picked the one without fat.
Yeah, I think this is perfect. It's perfect. If you pick a bit more like the nose pork, I think it could be a bit fattier.
Yeah. Okay, let me
Anyway.
take this away. What was it like studying CFA? Because I didn't have to go through that. I could imagine it is very, very difficult, stressful time for you.
I think personally for me, CFA is easier than my course at LSE.
Really?
Personally, I think I'm more organized and it's applied directly to what I was working on. So it's not like you don't have to split your mind into different topics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
How did you? So from what you have shared, you seem very proactive. You try different things to find out what you good at and what you like and what you don't, and you say you organize. So can you share some tips for people looking for jobs or preparing for big exams like CFA? Where you make it sound like it's very natural and effortless to you, but can you think of something that maybe more tangible you can share with
Yeah,
people?
definitely. To be fair, to be clarified, it's not effortless. There are a lot of commitment put into that. But I think what I did well was time management. And for example, usually people cram the exam in about 4 months time and feel very stressed. But for me, I started, for example, 9 months in advance, and I study slowly, bit by bit, every day. Maybe give myself 30 minutes only, just study at night and relax, and then still have friends coming over, things like that. So for me, like, it's about probably spread out, try not to squeeze everything, try not to scram things. The tips for applying for job at uni is probably 3 things I learned. Firstly, is about don't give up. Yeah, so at that time, I think I only got my graduate job in May and firm offer in like June. So it's toward the end of my study. If I would have give up by March, April, then I would never land the job, right? The second part is probably have perseverance and have a growth mindset. So whenever you fail some certain interview, try to maybe ask for feedback, try to grow and learn from your mistake. And I think the most important thing is probably have a supporting network of friends and families, because I think it's every single one around you also tell you don't give up, we're gonna go through it together. You feel better, you feel supportive, and you feel that your mindset is changing as well toward focusing on the certain thing that you want to get, and eventually you're gonna get it.
Yeah, I definitely agree, and definitely with the point about the support system as well. You have any tips for like making friends or building that support system here when you come here on your own?
Yes. So I think for me it's about getting out of my shell and making new friends. So I built into new hobby. For example, I was not very active back in uni, and I think that's a big mistake for me. However, when I started working, I started joining a hiking society from Meet Up London. So that's a page that you can find people from different interests. You can join different group, and I go into hiking, and I actually started dating as well. But it's not about like trying to find a partner. It's about also about understanding who I like, who I don't like, and what I'm seeking for in a future partner in terms of like repair me well. Later on, if I do bump into somebody, then I actually can eliminate some certain people with certain red flag, for example. So I think it's always about like, yeah,
Try and error.
try and error, and like reading people. You build a really good reading people's skill later on, and at the end of the day, I met my partner through the dating app. So yeah, I think that was good. And also, I try to get active. For example, I start playing tennis. In the last 4 months, I make so many friends. I never make that many friends as much as I did in the last 11 years, because it's a very social game. People love to hang out. You can go for a pie or coffee after you play, and then you just learn about people from different backgrounds, and it's amazing to connect. So I think maybe getting more active, joining different society, definitely have to build a network and building friends as well.
I still remembered when we met a long time ago, and I just now feel so happy to see how much you have grown and changed, and get out of your shell and out of your comfort zone, and to build a life with so many achievements like you have today.
Yeah, definitely. I think getting integrated into the society is quite important. I think it have made the journey here to get a citizenship for whatever you want. It become easier and shorter for sure. And I think it's when you enjoy the journey, the time flies by very quickly. So
I like that what you say, integration, because I think I've heard and seen a lot of students coming here, and maybe they don't want to socialize with people outside of the Vietnamese community or their own country. And then they just stay at home, or they don't actually come out, reach out and make friends with others. And I think that make it harder, right, to enjoy the time here and to get a job and do other things.
I think it's hard, for example, when like you have your own culture, and then it's hard from when you speak with some certain people, especially people from Western Europe, for example. It could be different of culture, right? But I think what you can do is like connecting through sport, because when you play sport, you get to be active, you get to be slimmer, and then you can chat, people get open to you as well in some certain way. So I think maybe connecting through sport, join a sport, join like coaching class for beginner. In terms of life, for me, I do tennis, so I start making so many friends.
Same. I think I played badminton, and then and that was great to meet people and to be more sociable, and learn new skills as well. And feel more confident.
For sure.
So if you look back at your journey, and if you met your younger self now, what would you tell her?
Oh, wow. Okay, I'm gonna tell myself probably 7-8 years ago that probably you have to go to the gym no matter what. Literally, you have to get active. That's one thing to help defend you from getting any mental health, any sort of like depression, and have you focus better on job seeking or study. Second, I'm gonna tell myself that, maybe it's like things gonna be okay. Try not to compare yourself with somebody else. Try to figure out, you know what you want already. So stick to that path. Focus. Don't let the peer pressure get to you. You're gonna have your moment in the sun one day. As long as you work hard, stick to your path, focus. At some stage, the result gonna come. Probably the last thing I wanna say to myself would be, just enjoy the journey. Don't stressful. Stop worrying and start living from now.
Well, I can relate to that for sure. And I think it is a very long journey, so you have to enjoy that, not just focus on the destination. You can get there. Okay, thank you so much for joining me today and sharing so many valuable insights and your experience. And Thanks for our viewers for tuning in. See you in another episode of Landon.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Hi, thank you so much for watching and listening. I hope you enjoy it. To support the show, remember to like, subscribe, and leave comments. You can also follow me on Instagram at EllenWinOfficial, where I post content more regularly. See ya!